Yeah, welcome back to another class session at the Way Edu Consult. And the subject we are on right now is English language, and we want to focus on the topic comprehension. Comprehension is not a very strange topic to any examiner, even right from basic schools. We've been going through comprehension and comprehension passages, but we need to know what are the key things that we need to focus on or give attention to. That is, as you read passages, do you actually understand them? Do you actually comprehend in entirety all the items, all the communicative values expressed by the writer? That is what a comprehension passage is aimed at, right? And that is why questions are being asked often on them, so that they will know whether you understand the message being passed across, the compartment of the paragraph. How do you understand each of the sections of the paragraphs? And then, do you understand the basic unit of information expressed in the passage? Also, do you understand the usage of certain colloquial expressions or colloquial words? Do you understand certain connotative expressions? Do you understand them? Do you understand certain lexical items, the words? All these are being asked in comprehension passages in various examinations that you write. Are we following? Also, don't forget, sometimes they ask questions on grammatical construct, the grammatical types. They say, again, what is the grammatical name? What is the grammatical functions? All those ones. They want to know how well could you apply your knowledge of grammar into comprehension passages, and how well could you apply your knowledge of semantics to comprehension passages. So as we go on, we are going to describe the comprehension passages. We are going to examine the types of passages. How are they constructed? If you know how to construct, you know how to deconstruct. If you know how to build, you will know even how to break down, especially when you want to repair something within, like, imagine, look at an engineer. If an engineer knows how to build, how to assemble a particular engine, in order to repair something in it will not be a difficult thing, because that engineer could assemble, and then it could bring down the part, it could dismantle. That is what we want to do here. So types of passages, and then we also move on to, in another class, quintessential principles, essential principles. What are the fundamental principles in answering questions in the passages? And then we're also going to take another class session on different question approaches. When you see a particular type of question, what are the expectations of the examiners? Are we together? From you as a candidate or as a student, you need to know the types so that you'll be able to answer the question correctly, because there may be tricky expressions in the options given to you, maybe like UTME, and even in your other examination like O-level, SSCE, WASSCE. You need to answer the questions that are correctly, as well as other examination like POST-UTME. And after that, we're also going to give another session to examine sample passages and then give appropriate answers to them, and well are guiding you through how to arrive at correct answers to those passages. Now, let's go to the types of passages now. Basically, I'm going to give you five basic types of passages, and that is based on the function it performs in to the readers. That is the function they perform. The number one, I want to talk on argumentative essay. That is the first type. Descriptive, number two. Narrative, that's number three. Expository, that's number four. And epistolary, that is number five. Join me as we go through each of them one after the other. Don't be distracted. Make sure you follow me as we go on. An argumentative passage, that is the first one, is tailored towards persuading the reader to accept. Are we together? The passage is meant for the reader to accept something. Number two, to reject something. The passage may actually be, trying to dissuade you from accepting something. Like, oh, this thing is not good, don't accept it, and not like that. And different reasons are being given to you. So it will be a form of argumentation, a form of argument. These are the weaknesses, these are the strengths. The weaknesses surpass the strength. Those are some of the things that passage will be presenting to the readers. Are we following? Now, it may even persuade you to maintain your position or to change your position. So, in terms of position making stance. So, argumentative passage is about stance making. So, the author, the writer, is trying to persuade you to what? To accept a position or a stance. In order for you to reject a position or a stance, to maintain a position or to change your position, your ideology, your concern about something. Are we together? And the writer does this through what? Logical, that is reasonable. It appeals to your sense of reasoning, carefully thought out and presented point. Point to be presented to you as readers. By the time you now begin to read the point, and then you begin to think along, oh, this is actually true. It's actually true. I could actually, agree with the writer. And sometimes you could disagree. It's not compulsory that you accept the standpoint or the position of the writer at any point in time. Next to that, we also want to add that the main purpose is to sell certain ideas to the reader, so that you could buy into the idea. And then the tone, that is the attitude, is usually persuasive. When you hear tone in passages, in expressions, we mean persuasion. So the tone is persuasive and it appeals to credibility. That is what you believe. The writer could appeal to what you believe. The writer could appeal to your feelings. How do you feel? We call it pathos in persuasive rhetoric. How do you feel? It could appeal to history. What are the historical facts that you believe? So the evidence will be taken from that history and then applied to the present, and then similarity will be given to you, and then you'll be able to agree or disagree with the writer or disagree with the idea being presented. Then we have it could also appeal to your ideologies. What are your beliefs? What is your belief system? As within your socio-cultural group, what are those things that you believe to be true? There, these are your ideologies. What are the communal system of beliefs that you have? Based on your religion, what are the things that you believe to be true in your religion? Those are the things that an argumentative passage will appeal to. And then it appeals to reasoning, to your thinking. How do you think? Think about this. And then before you know, you're already in an alignment or disagreement with the writer. Apart from an argumentative passage, you could also have a descriptive passage. And before we continue, I need to set the record straight that a passage can apply, can utilize, or even the writer rather could utilize more than one type of passage. So you could see an argumentative passage whereby there are elements of descriptive passages in it, right? That is, you see the writer portraying certain pictures and all likes. You could see narrative passage, and then you have other features of other types manifesting in that. But the truth is, one would be more dominant than others in that passage. Are we together? So this is not to pigeonhole that, oh, it must be one type of passage. So you could have an eclectic approach in the presentation to you as a reader or as a candidate. So now in descriptive passage, the writer is expected to paint a clear picture of a person. You've never seen the person before, or you've seen the person but you don't have a clearer picture of the person. The job of a descriptive passage is to paint a clearer picture so that you have better perception, better notion, better knowledge about the person, either in the positive or the negative. Then place, a particular place, you don't know a place before, it could be described, and then you get there, you are able to identify the location. You are able to like one place or to dislike a place. You're able to aspire, like some people, you have never been to some countries, and the way it's been described, you desire, you are passionate. I want to go to this country. I want to go to this country. You've never been there, but what people have said about the country, interests you, right? That is the power of descriptive passage. What about object? You could describe object, paint a clear picture of an event to what? To who? To the readers. Now, what will now be the response of the readers? The readers in turn, they capture the object, they capture the person, they capture the event, they capture the place, being described by the writer by visualizing, associating, comparing, and contrasting the description with their immediate environment. They begin to visualize, they begin to associate, they begin to compare, they begin to contrast, and before you know it, they are able to capture the unknown that's been described in the passage with the known, They capture, they understand the unknown through the known, right? The unknown, certain adjectives have been given, certain adverbs, different things have been given to that we could relate with, and then through certain level of comparison, you're able to know, at least have a clearer picture of that person, that object, that place, or that event. Are we following? Now, the next we are considering is a narrative passage. From the word narrate, to tell stories. Don't need to waste time on this. Yeah, there are some passages that are about storytelling. The stories could be real. It could be historical. It could be what happened to a community, to some people at a particular point or time in the past. And the story in a narrative passage could be imagined. That is fictional. They are just imagined by the writer, presented to the reader, and then you are asked questions on that. But some things are peculiar to narrative passages. There will be an introduction. There will be, different characters, like 2 or 3 coming together. Then there will be an issue. That is the rising problem that they will solve. And then the action begin to compound. And then people begin to look for attempt to solve the problem. And then you move to the climax. The climax, or the most complicated part of the story. Then an explanation will now be given to that problem. That is the usual style I'm describing. And then there will be eventual resolution. And then the writer could present to us the aftermath. So just like a story, from the beginning to the middle to the what? To the end. An expository passage is an impersonal writing and is meant to give information or enlighten readers. Please take note of those two discussions. It's not about self. It's not about what actually happened. You are giving information about something, or you are enlightening the readers. And number one, it gives instructions. When you see a passage about giving instruction, giving direction, or giving guidelines to readers on how to perform certain actions or certain processes, like how to prepare pounded yam, how to grow maize, how to write an essay, how to answer comprehension passages, just like we are doing here, is expository in nature. Please take note of that. And it could also be explaining a process of how something works. First is about how to operate, right? How to do. How to do something. Something is about how something works, how that thing works. That is on that. Why the third one is explaining an idea. Giving information about an idea. Like somebody could give you a seminar. That seminar is expository in nature. Could give you a message. Could give you, a talk about something. That is expository in nature. Like the importance of diligence in life, the bane of military government in Nigeria, the paths to success in life. All these are expository in nature. And it usually presents a vast knowledge or experience of the idea, of the concept, a vast experience about current events within and outside the country, disadvantages, advantages of those things, different effects on various spheres of life, and it's about projection into the future of what will happen at a particular point in time. Briefly, on the last one is the epistolary passage, and that is a passage in form of a letter. It appears in form of a letter. Nothing much about that. It could be in form of an informal letter, like somebody writing a letter to a son, and then you are given passage question on that. And it could be an open letter to a public figure, right? That is like a formal letter, a public figure on certain social issues. Like you see one political actor writing a letter to another person. And finally on that, it has the same feature with other regular letter format. That is what we are saying. In this class, we've looked at comprehension passages, its types: argumentative, narrative, descriptive, expository, and epistolary. In the next class, we'll be considering quintessential principles to follow in answering comprehension passages. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.